Here is a review on Chapter 4, Student Diversity. Here are some of the questions that will be answered throughout Chapter 4. Culture refers to shared language, perceptions, norms, behaviors, and traditions. Here are some of the NAEP reading scores. The higher the parent's education, the more their students scored at or above proficient. This is another look at those scores, but by race and ethnicity. And again by race and ethnicity. Factors including cultural background, factors influencing cultural background include ethnicity, socioeconomic status, or otherwise known as SES, religion, home language, and gender. Factors that affect student achievement include socioeconomic status, again SES, beliefs of schools, child rearing practices, school funding, cultural beliefs, quality of instruction, summer experiences, and parental expectations. All of the following refer to socioeconomic status, again that SES, including income, education, and occupation. It is important to note that students from low SES backgrounds are more likely to regress academically over the summer. When taking a look at resilience, we need to note what resilience is. It refers to characteristics of learners that enable them to overcome fears. Some schools produce resilient students. Resilient schools provide supportive school environment and include high academic achievement. Resilient children not only survive in difficult times, they also thrive in spite of the difficult circumstances. It is important that we provide partnerships with parents. Here are some examples of increasing parental involvement. It is important that we raise academic achievement for all students, including raising achievement of children from low SES schools and environments. According to the text, students from working class or lower class backgrounds are less likely than middle class students to enter school knowing how to count, to name letters, or to even cut with scissors. Examples of non-school solutions impacting on achievement are listed below. Teachers need to vary instructional practices. They must have ongoing assessment. Assessment drives instruction, and they must get to know their students. It is important that our teachers avoid stereotyping, avoid low expectations, and avoid self-fulfilling prophecies. Culturally responsive classrooms acknowledge the presence of culturally diverse students and the need for these students to find relevant connections among themselves and with the subject matter and the tasks teachers ask them to perform. In these classrooms, teachers must first recognize the differences in learning styles and develop instructional strategies accordingly. Ethnic group is shared identity with a common culture. Race has to do with physical characteristics, and underrepresented groups are groups usually not found in situations of economic security and power. The rules and traditions that guide the behavior of a group comprise its culture. One major determinant of a student's cultural background is his or her ethnic origin. Ethnic group refers to a group who share a sense of identity or culture. There are barriers to achievement for underrepresented groups. Barriers to student achievement may include the teacher's expectations and beliefs, the SES of the family, and the student's attitudes and beliefs. The following includes effects of school desegregation. In order to better understand their students, teachers should conduct a diversity self-assessment, which may include the following questions. How do I respond to my students? Do I have students that come from diverse cultural backgrounds? What is my definition of diversity? This slide includes some basic definitions that relate to language acquisition, including language minority, limited English proficient, LEP, and English as a second language, ESL. Some current trends in bilingual education include abandoning bilingual education for English-only instruction is becoming popular. California mandates 1 year to receive assistance in learning English. Multicultural education refers to education and instruction designed for the culture of several different races in an education system. It encompasses all policies and practices schools might use to improve education for all students, including those of different ethnic, social class, and religious background. According to the text, there is a substantial gap between the performance of white, middle-class students as compared to that of minority and low-income students. What most impacts the education of minority students is their level of education teachers receive in language and multicultural issues. Some of the dimensions of multicultural education include empowering school culture, content integration, knowledge construction, prejudice reduction, and equity pedagogy. We will skip down to intelligence. Is it general aptitude for learning, ability to acquire and use knowledge skills, or the ability to deal with abstractions, solve problems, and learn? There are different views on intelligences, beginning with Binet, Spearman, Sternberg, and Gardner. The theory that defines intelligence as encompassing at least 8 separate kinds of intelligence is Howard Gardner's theory of multiple intelligences. Howard Gardner developed a theory of multiple intelligence, which describes the following abilities: linguistic, logical, mathematical, musical, spatial, bodily kinesthetic, naturalistic, interpersonal, intrapersonal, and existential. Here are other factors that influence learning. Students have different ways of learning, and they have different learning preferences. Teachers should detect and respond to differences in how children learn, broaden student assessment, re-examine the curriculum, and provide professional development for educators. Classrooms of today are comprised of a diverse student population. Examples of student diversity include athletic ability, cultural background, reading level, and religious beliefs. The intentional teacher is aware of the following. Teachers need to continue to use instructional methods that are suited to the setting of the classroom, the students, and the subject. Examples of effective instruction of methods include instructional scaffolding, interdisciplinary units, and journal writing. After reviewing Chapter 4, you may want to reflect on ways to meet the needs of diverse children in your future classroom.